Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the round of 512th in the $20,000 SteelSeries Prime Cup. It is Mr. GL.DauT down south over here as the Abbasids in blue, and to the north it is Erik, who is a top 5 StarCraft 2 player from Brazil. He's ranked 50 on the leaderboard right now. GL.DauT is slightly higher ranked, he's at around 20 right now, but the skill gap is rather small, and it is a little weird that these two players get matched up in the first round, because if they were up against someone else, like this is still the round of 512th, they could very well get to like round of 64s, round of 32s or so. So this is a matchup that you could see in like round 6 or so, but instead it is going to be the second round matchup only over here. Both very, very skilled players over here. GL.DauT is playing the Abbasids in blue, and on the north is Erik as the Mongols in red. It's only a best of one, so anything can happen over here. One of these two players will get eliminated. Someone said the game sound is a little quiet, so I'm actually going to add a little bit of volume for it. Like that. So let's go. How does Abbasid work out against Mongols? That's a pretty long topic to discuss because it depends on how the Mongols play it. But long story short, the Mongols are just better in every aspect compared to the Abbasids. Because if you think about that, the Abbasids have a very nice archer and spearman pushing feudal age with the rams, but the Mongols can just match that with their own archers and spearmen, so it's very difficult to do damage with that. The men-at-arms siege type push is probably also better for the Mongols. These are the two civilizations that can make siege weapons on the battlefield with their infantry, so I feel like in every possible aspect the Mongols are just better in here. Looking at our red player, Mr. Erik, he has been just scouting around with that Khan. He's got a nice back gold mine over here with the Gur already on it. And for GL.DauT, he also has a back gold mine to work with, as the House of Wisdom is just now going up for him. Why play Abbasids in best of one? Good question. I don't know. I honestly don't know why GL.DauT is playing the Abbasids here in blue. He definitely has a game plan going on, and I'm fairly certain that he checked out who his opponent will be. So he knows exactly that he's up against a very skilled player, but he might try to do like a super greedy boom here. It wouldn't be unprecedented from GL.DauT, just saying, okay, I'm going to play very defensive over here with some archers, potentially some horsemen on the field, and just try to go for a 2-town center boom. We have seen stuff like that from GL.DauT before, so I'm fairly certain that he's got a plan going on for him. But indeed, it's a little risky to pick Abbasids in a 1v1. Maybe he was expecting Rus. It's a possibility. Because if you're expecting Rus from your opponent, then the Abbasids with the camel archers could in theory work. So there might have been some mind games behind the scenes over here. The best of ones are all Dry Arabia indeed. Once we go into later stages, best of threes and best of fives, we'll have other maps showing up as well. Deerstone's coming in here with only 3 villagers for Erik, so he's not really rushing that feudal age that much. Whereas on the other side, we have the economy wing coming in on the House of Wisdom. Feudal age times should be rather even, as indeed there is the stone mining operation. So GL.DauT wants to go for a 2TC boom. You just gotta love that. I think it's crazy risky against Mongols, but if Erik isn't putting enough pressure in GL.DauT is going to have a massive economy advantage over here. So I feel like once Erik sees that stone man, he can do two things. A, go for a very aggressive feudal age push with a lot of spearmen and archers, or alternatively, you can just try to play sort of a semi-fast castle build and try to play with men-at-arms and lancers, men-at-arms making siege for you, of course, with the Mongols. Both of that could work out, but Erik needs to realize that GL.DauT is going to play 2 town centers over here. Looking at Mr. Erik, his Khan is just now moving up, as GL.DauT is hitting feudal age in this very moment. GL.DauT won't be able to afford a second town center immediately. You see he's already at 200 wood and 120 stone, so he's gonna need a couple of moments after reaching feudal age to drop that second town center. It will probably be placed on the berries and the gold here, because he wants to protect that gold mine, he wants to protect the berries, and that's just your most natural position. You always want to place your town center on a food source as well, so this is probably your best spot for a town center. Meanwhile, Erik is up to feudal age, and he's going for double ranges here, so he's gonna go very aggressive in feudal age. You see he's been banking up stone with that ovu for a long time. That 450 stone will allow him to pump out archers like crazy, and let's see. Erik spots that DauT is not on gold, but the bigger thing right now is that he sees that DauT is on stone. So he knows exactly his opponent is going for a 2-town center boom, and I feel like this could be punished so well. Looking at DauT, he can now afford a second town center, and he's just going for the one on the wood line. You see, even the attack speed arrow is popped out here for Erik. He just wants to damage some villagers here. I don't think that he can kill any because DauT will just pull them back to the town center. But he's trying to be as annoying as it is humanly possible as his first archers are coming out. Are they coming out? There's the blacksmith. So he wants to go for that infantry siege upgrade. Behind this one, he could also move out and take the hunt because DauT is not going to contest map control. And that's something that needs to be considered here. DauT will have very limited map control, so it's difficult for DauT to acquire food right now. Because even his berries will be exposed to a couple of archers. So I feel like at this point, Erik can just capitalize on that and start taking the hunt for himself. Potentially start harassing those berries, as DauT is going for a stable, so a couple of horsemen will hit the field. That's something that Erik should have no major trouble against, simply because he is gonna have the chance to go double spearman, so his reaction to the horseman will be rather fast. There is already the infantry siege upgrade coming in, so Erik wants to go for a super aggressive feudal age push over here. Keep in mind that in order to defeat the Abbasids in feudal age, or in any age pretty much, you only have to destroy the House of Wisdom and the starting town center, because those are the only two landmarks existing for the Abbasids, so he doesn't really need to contest this town center. If he just starts knocking on these two buildings with rams, DauT will be forced to make a move. Stable coming out now, and this will be spotted by Erik. That's actually very important over here. Remember that Erik does have the deer stones coming up, and that's a building that he could pull up all the way out here, and that would be very helpful to micro against horsemen with the archers, because that would give a massive speed boost to the archers, meaning that they could run away from the horsemen much easier. Alternatively, of course, Erik can start mixing in some spearmen, and that's exactly what we are going to see. Double spearmen coming out of that barracks pretty soon. Erik, pretty decent amount of food in the bank as well, so he's actually lacking production. You see, he could afford more archers or more spearmen, it's just him not queuing up a lot. Looking like he is grabbing that attack upgrade now on the archers. Behind this one, though, DauT is building up an economy advantage slow and steady. So 28 villagers for our Mongol player, 35 for DauT, and this is what I was referring to. Unless you're going for a super aggressive push here against DauT's base, you could be in trouble. Simply because DauT is going to outboom you pretty fast, and once there is like a 20-25 villagers gap, it no longer matters that you can double train units, because DauT can simply pop out 2 or 3 more production buildings and overrun you. Spearmen are now moving out. DauT currently only has 3 horsemen on the field, as we got I Am Wise with the sub. Thank you so much, I appreciate it, welcome. Archers now moving up, currently affected by the EM speed network. Would be nice to see some towers all the way out here to extend that aura. As we have the archers swooping in from the north. This is going to be the first moment where Erik is really going to contest DauT's resources. He already has the siege upgrade, so there come the battering rams. DauT, does he see that? He sees the reinforcements, and he's going to intercept them. That's a very nice find for him. There is going to be one archer going down, a second one will soon follow. But the spearmen are now coming in, also having the hardened upgrade. So now DauT knows that there is a ram coming his way. Let's see how DauT reacts. He still has double stables right now, just going full horsemen. His opponent doesn't have a lot of spears, but that still should be enough with archer support to deal with all those horsemen. The horsemen, they do have the defense upgrade right now, and the attack upgrade is just now coming in. First ram starting to knock on the walls, and remember, every building that you set on fire with the Mongols will give you 50 food and 50 gold. So you actually want to focus down that house here, because setting it on fire is going to give you some food and gold, and it's also going to be very annoying for DauT to deal with. First ram now knocking on that town center. You see, DauT is trying to play this one carefully, just not lose villagers to those archers, as villagers will not pop out. Bit of a mistake there from Erik, leaving that ram alone, but nonetheless, he's idling DauT's villagers, and that's your first step over here. House will slowly go down over here. Horseman taking some damage, and that is the first building set on fire over here by Erik. What I would love to see from Erik is garrisoning every single unit he has into those rams and only popping them out when the horsemen charge in. First horseman going down over here, that is the attack speed arrow popped by the Khan, as GL.DauT is going to lose some of his horsemen, he's going to lose some of his villagers here as well, and that town center is now under heavy pressure. GL.DauT simply doesn't have the numbers to fight this one. He's trying to go for a pincer move with horsemen coming from both directions. One ram goes down, GL.DauT is pulling every villager to repair this one, but he's out of wood, so he won't be able to repair that town center any further. Here comes the surround from Mr. GL.DauT, but spearmen are able to get some nice hits on the horsemen. If Erik just stands and fights, I think that's probably the best option for him. Spearmen slowly go down to the town center fire though, so GL.DauT might be able to hang on to this one. Erik focusing down the majority of those villagers, still some more spearmen coming in. And GL.DauT, not only did he lose a bunch of villagers, he does have a lot of idle time as well. 37 villagers for Erik right now, 42 for GL.DauT, but GL.DauT has a huge amount of idle time right now. The ram is about to go down, so this pressure will be temporarily relieved from GL.DauT's base, and he's not far away from clicking up to Castle Age. But this is gonna be a difficult hold here because 2 more rams are coming up. Coming in is the culture wing for Mr. GL.DauT. Once he gets up to Castle Age, he's fine. Against the spearman and archer play, if he goes men-at-arms, he can win this one very easily. However, getting to Castle Age is a big challenge here for GL.DauT. That's a steady 2 minutes he has to wait for it. He can just rush that up with like 20 villagers compared to what he could do with other civilizations. So surviving against those rams is going to be quite challenging. There's one battering ram that's rather weak over here, and I wonder if there's a repair villager being pulled to keep that alive, and the answer is apparently no. It's just the first ram leading the way. Look at that from Erik. He's using this first ram as the first wave of the push, so that the town center is shooting at that one. GL.DauT could still focus down the other ram that's rather weak. Villagers pop out over here. Town center is on fire. The Khan pops the attack arrow, and I feel like now this is just pure sadness here for GL.DauT, because he's still nowhere close to Castle Age. He is like halfway up only. He just doesn't have the army. GL.DauT is at 4 military, and his opponent Erik is at 35. We do have most of the horsemen going down. One town center is gone, and now that ram can just start knocking on those stables. This is very difficult right now for GL.DauT, I have to say. He's getting closer and closer to Castle Age though, and GL.DauT is not going to give up on this easily. He does have a decent resource bank, and 5 men-at-arms could be a difference maker over here. Honestly, the best unit that Erik could make right now is a couple of Mangodai, because Mangodai would be pretty decent against those men-at-arms that are coming up. Building will be set on fire once again, providing 50 food and gold for our red player. At this point, he has to be happy with just destroying buildings and killing villagers from GL.DauT. GL.DauT is almost up to Castle Age, but his economy is just going to be an absolute train wreck, so even if GL.DauT cleans this one up, it's going to be very difficult for him to launch any kind of counterattack, because he will need to clean this up, and you see Erik is getting close to Castle Age himself. Villagers will be pulled once again to take down the ram. Erik leaving that ram alone is a bit of a mistake, but now he's swooping in with the archers, will take down no villagers here, somewhat surprisingly, as this ram is also slowly going down to the town center fire, with all that tower fire coming up, villagers popping out as well. The ram is now just a history. Nope. It actually is still alive. GL.DauT up to Castle Age, so he can start making men-at-arms. He can also make Springolds immediately because he's Abbasids, so he's got the infantry siege upgrade. And while Springolds are not as powerful as they used to be, they are very good against rams, and you can stall pushes out like that. Erik needs to realize that his opponent is going for men-at-arms, and he's gonna need his own men-at-arms in here. Currently 46 villagers for Erik, 41 for GL.DauT, so rather close economies, but GL.DauT's got a lot of inefficiency here. He simply can't access wood because all of those archers are out there denying it. Huge amount of archers on the battlefield here for Erik. GL.DauT getting his men-at-arm numbers up. He could also try going for a mangonel if he has the wood for it, but he doesn't. So that's the problem he's facing. Closest safe wood line would be this one, and that's a serious problem right now for GL.DauT. He can't afford a mangonel. If he could go for a mangonel, that would be fine. And we do have the Steppe Redoubt coming in as Erik's Castle Age landmark. And that's where things could get really ugly for GL.DauT, because I think Erik doesn't even need to go for his own men-at-arms. He could just go crossbowman, because he's only facing a handful of men-at-arms. 5 crossbows over here will be devastating. Of course, you can use the Khan's speed arrow to try and run away from those men-at-arms, and that's probably what Erik is thinking about. He actually pops the attack rate arrows, so he wants to fight this one. Not sure if that's the best idea ever, because those spearmen will go down to the men-at-arms. You will still probably win this fight because you have a considerable numbers advantage, but it might have been a better choice to just run away and live to see another day. Looking at the archers, they will take down the men-at-arms slow and steady. You see that Erik is focusing down the low HP men-at-arms over there. Another one goes down. And he can go either lancers, crossbowmen. First of all, of course, the veteran archer upgrade should come in for him. And what is he going for? Just spearmen? This wasn't really the best fight ever here for Erik, I'm not gonna lie. But of course, DauT's eco is an absolute train wreck. So you see he's got 0 food in the bank, 0 food income for DauT. Nice eco balance. Oh man, one ram was actually interrupted and now DauT can access those berries though, and I feel like DauT is actually starting a nice recovery over here. Meanwhile, we do have men-at-arms on the way from Mr. Erik. No crossbows on the field, which is a little surprising. Even just a handful of crossbows would help so much in this one. Now veteran archers are in for Mr. Erik, and with some men-at-arms as his own meat shield, he should be having no trouble starting to push DauT back. DauT is expanding to gold mines on the left side, and he also has some men-at-arms looping around on the right side. So there's a chance for some raids, especially on that step redoubt. That would be a nice place to strike at. DauT currently sitting at 44 villagers, Erik is at 55. So there is an 11 villagers lead right now for our red player. DauT swooping in, trying to get some villager kills. Not all villagers can fit into that town center, so there's a chance here for 1 or 2 villagers to be killed. But there's the YAM speed network for you that's going to allow the villagers to run away. Nice move from Erik to pull all those villagers away. Still, Erik is just refusing to go for crossbowmen, and that's going to start hurting him pretty soon, because now he's mostly archers against the men-at-arms of DauT. Now crossbows are coming out. Erik is out of stones, so he can only go for single training now. We also have some men-at-arms coming in. Erik should still have no trouble holding against this one, and he does have the economy advantage, not only from the extra 10 villagers that he does have. There is also the step redoubt going in for him. So it's a combination of two things. Step redoubt is a massive economy advantage for you. Crossbows now popping out. With some meat shield in front like those men-at-arms, the crossbows should be able to swing the battle in the favor of Erik once again. These men-at-arms up north will be cleaned up. They actually killed 2 or 3 villagers out here on the gold mines, so currently it's a 57 versus 47 villager difference. But DauT managed to stabilize, and given how bad his situation was like 5 minutes ago, that's actually outstanding. His best bet is to just play a long game here. Looks like he's branching out to this right-hand side gold mine as well, going for all the berries out here. His economy is very much raidable, and once he starts losing those men-at-arms in the middle, that could start showing. But for now, his eco is not getting raided, and that's probably something that already makes him happy. Still, now with crossbows on the battlefield, this is going to be more and more difficult for DauT to fight. He could really use some lancers or some horsemen, but even then it's difficult because the crossbows, men-at-arms, and archers combined pretty much deal with everything that DauT could have. Let's see if DauT goes for a siege workshop, because that's probably his best bet, or if he doesn't go for a siege workshop, he can use his men-at-arms to make siege weapons as well, but he needs to be out of combat for that for some time. As things stand, it looks like DauT is going to continue playing on one town center, a couple of lancers will come in, and it looks like Erik might lose track of the men-at-arms. Now, if those men-at-arms hit this gold mine, that's definitely the first step back for Mr. DauT. Looks like we have no siege workshop at home to defend against this one though, and I would think that Erik is going to start with the ram push once again. The Khan is chilling on this side, so I'm suspecting that he wants to go for a ram push against those barracks, as we do have some men-at-arms swooping in from the right side, and also from the left side. Out here, these guys shouldn't be able to do much. 1 or 2 villagers might go down, but I'm not sure if that actually justifies the investment into those men-at-arms. This one is a much more promising push here from Lord.DauT, because this could easily take down 4 or 5 villagers over here. Villagers will be pulled. If DauT had 1 or 2 Lancers in this group, it would be even more devastating, because those villagers with the Yam speed can just run away from the men-at-arms for the time being. Ram push being prepared here right now by our red player. 6 crossbows, 6 men-at-arms, 15 archers. It's a scary force to fight against, and it looks like DauT will have to retreat here as well. Not looking too good for DauT, I'm not gonna lie, simply because this raid is gonna get cleaned up by the crossbowmen, and right now the difference maker is really those crossbowmen in the men-at-arm wars. Rams now knock on those walls. DauT has a mangonel though, and we have seen mangonel shots change games. Nice staggered formation from our red player Erik. He is going to lose some of the crossbowmen though, and if the crossbowmen go down, then the men-at-arms can clean up the rest. Nice mangonel hit out there as well. 1 barracks will go down. DauT is going to jump on the army of his opponent though. Where are the crossbows at? Because the crossbows are in very limited numbers right now. DauT repairing that mangonel, and honestly, this is as good as it gets for DauT. Is it enough? I'm not so sure, because he's still heavily on the back foot, but he can't hope for more from this fight. So he's going to clean most of this push up. He's going to lose 2 barracks though, and at the end of the day, he's at 56 villagers, his opponent is at 61, so it's only a 5 villagers gap. He actually manages to stall out this push, and if he destroys the rams, he might actually get some value for this, but he also lost 2 barracks himself. Do note that the score for the Mongols is bugged, so that's not necessarily an indicator of the position of the game. DauT is on the back foot because he lost a lot, but on the other hand, the economies are evening out. I don't think that DauT is leading by any means, of course. In fact, I think DauT has like 10% chance of winning, but I also don't think it's completely over, especially with a very resilient player like DauT. He's got a lot of competitive experience. He knows exactly that there might be chances to make a comeback. Looking at our red player Erik, he's at 38 military. DauT is only at 15, which is a little concerning for him. DauT getting some raids in with those men-at-arms. The problem for DauT right now is that his men-at-arms are basically doing nothing when it comes to raiding. And there is more and more crossbows on the way, so DauT will need something against that. Another ram push will be attempted here by Erik. These are very expensive ram pushes, so every single ram is quite expensive here for a red player. He needs to get something for it, like barracks destroyed or so. DauT's best bet might indeed be mangonels and men-at-arms. Looks like a couple of lancers from a red player will swoop in, try to find a villager kill, but they will fail to do so. I wonder if DauT will add 1 or 2 camels to try and deal with those lancers. That would be an interesting thing to see. Meanwhile, we have a huge amount of pastures already up for Mr. Erik. DauT hasn't added a single farm, so he's yet to establish a long-term food economy, but he's got 1 batch of huntables over here, 1 over here as well, some berries out here, and these gold miners still remain hidden. Mangonel now slowly crawling up, lancers once again swooping in to try and get some villager kills. I don't think that they got any will kills right now, but you see that Erik is switching more and more into lancers, and as DauT is being forced to defend on the right side with the men-at-arms, the rams swoop in on the left side. It is 27 army versus 48, almost double the army for Erik, and he already sets that barracks on fire. Second barracks could go down as well, so DauT is going to lose production, and every single building set on fire also gives resources to Erik. Looks like DauT will fight these lancers with his own, and he's probably going to pull back his men-at-arms. Only the mangonel is going back. Another barracks goes down over here, quite a significant force of men-at-arms and crossbows, now ready to push this town center and the House of Wisdom. DauT grabbing the Preservation of Knowledge upgrade, so he's playing a long game over here. Mangonel setting up now, as the crossbows actually get a pretty decent hit on top of their heads. Men-at-arms now coming in though to take down the Mangonel. DauT is going to pull every single repair villager over here to keep that Mangonel alive. He needs that Mango alive, but if that stays alive, those archers and crossbowmen will be decimated. DauT still keeping the Mangonel alive. On the right side, the knights traded off against each other, and we do have a pretty sizable force of men-at-arms slowly crawling up. Now once again, those will have limited amount of chances of doing raiding damage, so I think they would be much more useful just helping out to defend over here. A second Mangonel is out for DauT. It's all or nothing right now for DauT with this defense. The Mangonels do stay alive though. He's just keeping them alive until eternity, really. At this point, he isn't even focusing the Rams because he knows exactly that the main unit that he needs to deal with are those crossbowmen. A couple of Lancers also join the party over here. Most of the crossbows are now gone, as on the other side, the men-at-arms of DauT are getting cleaned up. At this point, it's 34 army for our red player, only 13 for DauT. DauT trying to hold on to his dear life, his tournament life, in this fight. But I feel like it's just slowly spiraling out of control for him, because for the last 15-20 minutes, he was always on the back foot, and I just feel like there's a smaller and smaller chance of recovery, because you see, his opponent is already moving out to the next batch of units. Some Springolds will come in to try and snipe down to the Mangonels. Rams did go down, but DauT keeps his town center alive for the time being. 64 villagers for DauT, 71 for Erik. So Erik retains that 7-8 villagers lead that he has had for the majority of the tournament. I feel like at this point Erik could start thinking about stuff like grabbing relics, because DauT is just so much cornered within his own base that you could just move out, grab the relics, grab the sacred sites, and not even push DauT, just build on that already existing advantage. Remember that DauT doesn't have any farming eco, so when he runs out of berries and hunt, he's going to have to transition into farming, and that's going to be quite a lot of resources spent. Here comes DauT though, as he is moving up with 6 Lancers, and one of the things I was saying is that the main problem with DauT's counterattacks was that he didn't have the mobility to deal with those villagers affected by the YAM network. But this is a completely different scenario, and this could be the first counterattack by DauT that actually does considerable damage on Erik's base. Here comes Mr. DauT, and DauT? He just ignored that wood line. That would have been like 6-7 villagers killed easy peasy. And currently, he's just running past all those eco, and that's just so painful for him. He could already be killing stuff out here. He did lose 1 villager himself. Looks like he's now turning back though. And as I said, this is exactly what you want for DauT. Use the mobility of those knights, raid your way back into the game. That is -2. It could have been way more had he spotted those villagers a little earlier. In front of DauT's base, a massive force of Rams and Springolds are being established, and DauT sees that, so he knows exactly what to expect. Kills a few villagers, so now it is pretty much even Steven on the villager department, but it's double the army for our red player. So holding this one for DauT is gonna be extremely difficult, especially because he's running out of safe gold. Defensive tower now coming in, multiple Mangonels on the way, but the Springolds will make quick work with those Mangonels. Lancers are still alive though, so if DauT stalls that push out and those Lancers keep killing those villagers on that wood line, that could be concerning for our red player. A couple of crossbows will be added here by DauT though, so he's realizing that his opponent is mostly men-at-arms crossbows himself, so crossbows could work out for him as well. Lancers still dealing with those crossbowmen, but they're slowly being ground down by the town center fire, so ultimately DauT's raiding force gets cleaned up. DauT is now going for full Lancers, as our red player is now moving up with all that men-at-arms force, and DauT doesn't want to lose those villagers out here. I think that's fairly obvious, but he's a little slow to react. Springgold's already moving out, 1 Mangonel goes down, and with all those crossbows out here, the Lancers would just evaporate. DauT realizes that the best thing to do here could potentially be just pulling the villagers to take down the Springolds with, and he actually does take down 1 Springold. Mangonel still alive, those Springolds aren't able to finish it off. DauT coming in, destroying 2 more Springolds, and once again, DauT holds on. DauT's villagers are very, very cheap over here with the Abbasids, so he can sort of just say, okay, I'm going to throw away 10 vills to destroy those Springolds because I need that Mangonel alive. DauT is at 63, his opponent is at 68, but 3 Rams once again will be cleaned up over here as DauT is trying to pursue that army, getting some extra kills here. Now, the crossbows managed to regroup, so I don't think that you want to fight this any longer. At this point, DauT's base is just crumbling. Meanwhile, Erik is going for a second town center. He is going to secure that wood line on the left side of his base. That's pretty vital because he's running out of wood. Well, he already ran out of wood at the back of his base. And DauT has been raiding that wood line for a long time. I think the starting TC is best used to just stay here, close to the pastures. You don't want to relocate this close to another wood line out here. Erik could potentially think about just going for the deer over here in front of his base because he's got the map control for it. It looks like he is coming in with some Lancers to the left side. Now, DauT's gold mining operation on the left side here was completely undiscovered so far. So if Erik ever sees that, he could get some kills. And remember, he wasn't checking it so far because he didn't assume DauT is there. But now it's a completely different scenario. Erik has scouted this part of the map before, so he knows exactly there's a gold mine here. And as we go deeper into the game, you're going to start looking for those gold mines. Same thing for DauT. At some point, DauT will send some army here because he just assumes that his opponent already expanded towards that gold mine. Same thing can be done by Erik. Move towards this gold mine. Move towards this gold mine. You see that he already has a Lancer out here. As it is Erik who's now swooping in with his Lancers. Kills one, kills two. DauT reacts to this one, but that's once again two villagers taken down. DauT also launches a counterattack, but that's gonna be slaughtered by Spearman and Crossbowman over here, so this was a very short-lived counterattack over here. Meanwhile, Lancer is now moving in. This is a very much exposed part of DauT's economy, so 2 or 3 villagers could once again be taken down by Erik, who's floating a ton of gold, also a lot of stone here, so he could use double training quite a bit here with the stone he has. Instead, he's going for a huge amount of springolds. DauT trickling in knights to his opponent's wood line out here, but that's quite a lot of firepower in that town center. There is some crossbows coming in to support as well, so I would be surprised if DauT was able to kill more than 4 or 5 villagers over here. Indeed, here come the crossbows, and in the end it's like 1 villager going down for a price of 3 Lancers, which might already be fine for Erik, especially because he's got 2 town centers, so trading off 1 or 2 villagers for 3 Lancers is a great scenario for our red player Erik right now. Meanwhile, down south, we have the blue crossbowmen and the Lancers cleaning up Erik's forces, as DauT is going to have to re-establish control over this area out here. So, looking at the numbers, Erik is sitting at 82 villagers, DauT is at 67, so Erik managed to widen that gap quite a bit, and now that's a fairly scary force to fight against. We're talking about a combined army of 63. It is a combination of men-at-arms, some springolds, and some crossbowmen, and now we're seeing some mangonels here. So he's expecting some crossbows from DauT. DauT's forces mostly consist of crossbows, actually, so unless you have a mangonel, you won't be able to deal with them. It's actually pretty decent for DauT. Mangonel's coming in here, though! Oh my goodness! That could have been a disaster for Erik, and now the crossbows swoop in. Crossbows have a lot of anti-armor damage, so they can take down mangonels or siege weapons very easily if they get close. DauT did eat a big mangonel shot in his face, but that almost turned out to be a disaster for Erik. All his units ganging up on that ram, and he almost got slaughtered by that mangonel. Springle's now rolling up, though, and DauT's mangonels will be pushed back. DauT's forces are slowly getting decimated over here. Many of those crossbows are heavily battered. And the spearmen here are actually a very useful auxiliary unit for Erik, because those spearmen don't take a huge amount of damage from the crossbowmen, and they're rather cheap to just absorb all that damage. Mangonel's now coming in here. Erik eats a big shot on his crossbows, but his army numbers still seem to be way better. DauT will potentially lose that mangonel to the springwoods, once again pulling it back, pulling the villagers to repair. Currently 56 army for Erik, though 17 only for DauT. I don't know if he can pull another miracle hold over here. He's been holding this for a long time, and this is only a best of 1. So this is DauT's tournament life on the line, and it's looking quite rough for him. As I said, the score is bugged for the Mongols, so it's not necessarily indicating the position of the players in the game. The military numbers do. 10 army for DauT and 54 for Erik. DauT's villager count is also much weaker, and now he's going to lose that gold mine. I feel like this is game. And when I looked at this matchup in the first round, I was like, this is 2 top 50 AoE 4 players, according to the ladder, so one of these players will go home prematurely, because both of these players would have had the chances to get to like top 64 or top 32, given a different bracket, but they meet each other very early on, and it looks like Erik is going to be the one that gets the win here. DauT is trying to get a defensive castle up here, but from this point on, Erik has all the map control he needs. So he can take Sacred Site, he can take Relics, or he can just find a different angle to push. He doesn't need to push this side, he can just push the Starting Town Center and the House of Wisdom. I would love to see some trebuchets being built from him, actually, because he could easily get that, or just go Imperial Age. Look at Erik's resources. He has had the eco advantage for a long time, not only with the villager advantage, but also the Step Redoubt working for him. So he has a massive eco lead. He could just go into Imperial, get some bombards out, and finish the game. Looking at Mr. DauT, I'm not even sure what his game plan is right now. I feel like he's just trying to hang on, hoping that his opponent is going to make a mistake. I see Veteran Archer coming in, so he wants to take down those crossbows with archers, but that's a fairly sizable force of Lancers. So Lancer, crossbow, with some archer support as well from our red player, Erik, is going to be decisively winning that fight against archers and just a handful of crossbowmen. Rams ready, and you see, I love the patience from Erik here. He could already push with those rams, but he isn't doing it. He's waiting for Imperial Age. He's rushing up the White Stupa, which is basically an ovu that generates you infinite stone, allows you to use your double training ability until eternity. So that's your long-term landmark over here. And you see, the moment he gets to Imperial Age, he's going to start that assault on the House of Wisdom. You only have to take down this building and the starting TC that's already pretty much destroyed. So once these two buildings go down for DauT, he's out of the game, regardless of what he has behind this one. Some horsemen also joining the fun. And I kind of like how Erik is not pushing up his forces over here. So DauT really doesn't know what's protecting those rams. Look at this. He sees the Springolds, but he doesn't know how big his opponent's army is at. So even if DauT moves in, he just doesn't know what he's up against, and the moment he realizes what he's up against, it's too late, because that's a massive force of Lancers. Could have been better to just wait with the Imperial Age upgrades, so maybe Erik could have delayed this push like 20-30 seconds longer, just so that he can get the Imperial Age upgrades, but it's not really a big deal. Slowly taking down that House of Wisdom. DauT's army is just insufficient to hold this one. It's a Castle Age army amounting 30, and his opponent has 79 armies soon with Imperial Age upgrades. House of Wisdom slowly burning down over here, and next is this town center. If this town center goes up for DauT, it's game over no matter what. Honestly, if DauT resigns right now, I wouldn't be surprised at all, simply because I don't think that he can hold this push. But at latest, when this landmark goes down, DauT is out. This is the first round, and indeed it's only a best of one. So if DauT loses this game, he's out of tournament. And you see the Rams are already knocking on that town center as the Mangonels are coming in for Erik. If he gets a big Mangonel hit on those archers, that's game, set, match. There's another big Mangonel hit. DauT taps out before his entire base gets leveled. And with that, one of the biggest upsets, I think, of the tournament, or can we actually call this an upset, because the two players were very evenly skilled. I think it's not an upset from the perspective that the two players were even. The reason why you could justify saying upset is because DauT is out very early in the tournament. It's definitely one of the surprises of the tourney. Round of 512, and DauT is leaving the tournament. Erik moves on. Very well played from him. He used the Mongols to their best ability, and it was a somewhat interesting decision from DauT to go for the 2 TC boom with the Abbasids. So DauT leaves the tournament here quite prematurely, whereas his opponent Erik moves on to the next round.